On this segment, we're here with attorney Robert Rust and paralegal Robert Van Duzer, and we're talking about Rust & Associates Law Firm. And let's start out, let me ask you, Attorney Rust, I know the person standing next to you here you know real well, and perhaps you could take a second to introduce him to us and tell us about his credentials.
This is Robert F. Van Duzer, Jr. Bob and I have known each other for over 30 years. Our families have grown up together. We've done a lot of business together. Bob's a CPA since he's in his early 20s, certified financial planner. He's got his Juris Doctorate, which he got at the age of 65. And he's probably the most credentialed paralegal in the Valley, and soon to be my partner.
And that's exciting. And, Robert Van Duzer, maybe you could tell us a little about Mr. Bob Rust here, because I know you go back a ways and you're pretty good friends.
Yes, we've been friends for over 30 years. And Bob graduated from the University of the South and Vanderbilt Law School. He's been an attorney since 1975, I believe. He was a partner in a national financial planning firm here in Allentown. He hired me to set up their estate planning department a long time ago.
What is unique about the law firm?
Well, Art, I think one of the things that's unique is the fact that Bob and I both, between us, have over 80 years of business experience. Bob, as I did not mention earlier, has owned the Burger King down in Dorneyville for almost 30 years. That's anyone that knows that business, that's a challenge, and he's done it successfully for that period of time, as well as gone and garnered the degrees that I told you about. He very much looks forward to the practice of law, but both of us bring to the scene with our clients a knowledge of business and a seasoning. By seasoning, I mean experience. We've seen good, we've seen bad, we've seen smooth, we've seen rough, and that all helps when we sit down and talk with a business client.
Let's talk about the areas that you focus on, because everybody does specialize in areas. Who'd like to answer that?
Well, I'll start it and then turn it over to Bob. We focus on business law. We focus on estate law, which is wills, trusts, and the like. We also do investment in commercial real estate, and we're open to doing charitable law wherever needed. But I'll let Bob tell you about the estate side of the work.
Well, I've been involved with estate planning since I worked with Bob years ago, and it's what I want to do, and so I've kind of focused on that. We are trying to be competitive because we're a new firm, and to turn around the documents in a short period of time and have happy clients.
That's the most important thing. Now, if someone's watching this, how would they know, what would they be retaining you for when it comes to estate planning?
Well, they'd be looking for the basic documents to protect their family, and for most people a will. It might have a trust in it if they have young children. They certainly need a power of attorney in case they become incapacitated, and a living will in case they need medical care and can't speak for themselves.
Now, I know you bring a lot of experience together to the table, over 80 years, plus years combined. Maybe you could touch on that a little bit on behalf of the clients, how they benefit from all that.
Well, as Bob just told you, in the estate area, we do the basic documents to protect the family, but also because of I'm grandfather, Bob's going to be one. What we've seen, we can bring advice to the clients that goes not only to the law but beyond. For example, if we find a client doesn't have long-term care and they're in their 50s, long-term care insurance, we'll look them in the eye and say, you get it, you need it. That comes from our financial estate planning background, but also where we are age-wise.
Now let's talk about something else, because you mentioned the fact that you're unique in the sense that you do actually go to people's homes. And let's talk about the geographical area that you reach.
Well, we certainly cover the Lehigh Valley, the Allentown, Bethlehem area, Easton. We will work with third parties that may work elsewhere where we're actually doing the documents, but they're visiting the client outside of the valley. But that's our central area of work. And the other thing I should say to you are, too, when you asked the question a minute ago, in the business area, we can sit down and talk with our clients, whether it's a brand new company just starting up, or whether it's a company has moved so quickly it hasn't attended to the things it needs to attend to, such as a shareholders agreement, which forces the owners to think ahead. What would they do in the event of death or disability, or someone wants to leave, or there's a dispute? We also work with other aspects of buy-sell agreements right on to the end, where they may want to get value and sell to their family, or sell to employees or someone on the outside.
We're running out of time, but touch on the fees. How does that work?
Well, our fees, we think, are very competitive. Bob, you want to tell them what the estate planning fees are?
Well, they are competitive. Let me leave it at that. We certainly are not in Philadelphia law firm pricing.
And with a business client, normally we would set up a retainer with that client depending on what they want to have done. We'd work against that retainer. That retainer would stay in our trust account until we earned it. But my fee is $175 an hour, Bob's is $95, and our secretary is $45. I think you'll find that's most competitive.
Most competitive. And summing it up, because we are out of time, let's wrap it up. What do we want people to be thinking about when they're thinking about Rust & Associates, the law firm with a personal touch? You do go the extra mile. Once they meet you, they'll never want to go anywhere else. You wrap it up. Tell us what they should think about.
Well, Art, you've done a pretty good job. We are personal, we're accessible, we're competent, and we care. And that's, we think that combination works well for the client, and we gladly provide it.